Hey everybody, let's go on some cat dates. This game is so cute. So I'm trying to think of where I was when I left off. I was playing Simon, my second human. And I think he had been on... let's jump in and find out. Let's continue. What should I do today? I have rested. Oh, I had thought this out before too. I've got to save the last research, so I can't do that research yet. I think I was gonna romance, and then recon, and then rest and romance and research. Yeah. Alright. Let's do it. Let's do a romance. Well, of course it's going to be Floofy Butt. I've rushed out to the forest on Floofy Butt's insistence that I meet him at the location of his treasure chest. After the incident, we called on McMurphy and Kibbles to help us drag it to a new spot, further away from the Elder territory. Mouse cable got caught. Major, are you okay? I was in the middle of preparing lunch when I received your summons. Quite. I was pawing through my collection just now and couldn't help but reflect upon some of our adventures. Oh? So you dragged me away from the kitchen to reminisce? Indeed. We've grown rather fond of our expeditions together. I do seem to find more unique articles when you accompany me. You've trained me well, Major. Any advancement I've made in the treasure hunting field is entirely thanks to you. Yes, I mean, no. You have a natural ability. Rather impressive. You flatter me, Major. Not at all. I'm a fair cat, and it is my belief that good work deserves just reward. Reward? Indeed. And so I felt it would only be right to let you keep an item from my inventory, so that you may start a collection of your own. That's too kind of you, Major. I'm touched. Yes, well, let's have a look, shall we? You may choose whatever you like, my dear. Absolutely anything. I peer into Floofy Butt's treasure chest. Oh, that is a sentence. All the gems and bits of precious metal and sparkle and glint in the sunlight. I gently move some of the more bijou trinkets out of the way and dig deep for the good stuff. Wow. I grasp a red gem almost the size of my fist. I wonder if it's a ruby, but before I can begin to examine it, Floofy Butt has swiped it away with his paw. No idea what that is doing. I think I see how this is going to go. Anything else, Simon? Whatever you like. How about this? I untangle a string of pearl, creamy and iridescent, clearly very good quality, even to my untrained eye. Floofy looks uncomfortable. Yes, they are rather special, aren't they? I do have a particular fondness for them. I let him off the hook as my eye catches sight of something dull and cheap looking. Major, what on earth is this? The filthy bottle sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the shiny baubles Floofy usually likes to collect. Oh, that! Heavens, I forgot all about that thing. It might suit you. If you shake it, you will hear something rattling about in there. I do believe it contains a note or a script of some kind. He's selling it to me? Silly, really. I did get it into my head to find a way to open that bottle, but the cork is wedged in tight. I choose this to start my collection, Major. Really? That old thing? But I can tell he's absolutely delighted. Yes, and I have an idea on how to open it. Go on, you have my attention. I whip off my apron and loosely wrap it around the bottle, then smash it unceremoniously against the side of a tree. Good gracious, Simon. How lively of you. I have a feeling the real treasure is this. I carefully pick the parchment from amongst the shards of glass and cast a cursory eye over the faded scribbles. A genuine message in a bottle. This could fill in so many blanks about the history of this place. piece of paper? Oh, Major, this is not just a piece of paper. This is better than anything I could have hoped for. Well, if that's what you deem to be treasure, then please, be my guest. Thank you so much, Major. I grin from ear to ear. I must go now, though. I'm late for lunch duty. I excitedly kiss Floofy Butt on his furry head before dashing back to base. So cute. Ooh, I'd unlocked a recon. Which I will do now. That is my only recon option. Translating Major's gift. I think it's time to take a look at the message in the bottle that Floofy Butt found. The ink is surprisingly well preserved. The only obstacle to my understanding of this letter is deciphering the scrawling scribble. Some words I can make out. Punished, God, and presumably the signature at the bottom. Bill. I can make out some other words, but they appear to be badly misspelled, or possibly not even English, but some other hybrid language. Maybe colloquial? I spent an hour or two, though it feels much longer, attempting to translate each character and syllable into my notepad. I obsessively write and rewrite words until a sentence takes shape, and I am, eventually, left with something quite legible. Once I'm satisfied that each word is correct and each sentence has meaning, I read it through from beginning to end. To whoever finds this bottled message, we have been cursed. We be judged for our sins. We wrecked on the rocks. I couldn't tell you where we be, but I think it is hell. The cats. They are everywhere, and they won't forgive us. They know what we have done. My guts burned for food. I had no choice. I had to eat. I regret it now. God help me, I do. Now I am cursed, and the boys are too. The cats are eating us slowly from the inside. It burns more than hunger. It burns me rotten. They stare at me all the time, with their yellow eyes. They know what we done. They are getting retribution. Justice. God help me, I pray for death. If you find yourself in the path of the infinite island, turn back. Don't do what we done. Leave them. This is their island. I need my little Lucy to know I love her. I am sorry, Petal. Bill. I read it again. And then again. But it seems the more I read it, the less it makes sense to me. I wonder if reading aloud might help me to understand, like in school. We have been cursed. We be judged for our sins. We wrecked on the rocks. So their ship crashed, and they survived. I'm not sure if they're very lucky or very unlucky. The cats won't forgive us. I had to eat. I had no choice. My skin prickles with goosebumps. Who knows what lengths anyone might go to in order to survive. I'm sure I'm capable of a lot more than I'd like to believe, sat here in the comfort of my tent. But this? My stomach turns at the thought of it. I think I understand what Bill means, but the next part is less clear, and still more disturbing. They're eating us from the inside. Like, food poisoning? The thought of that is bad enough. I've eaten a few dodgy prawns in my time. I shudder at the memory, but I can't help thinking he means something else. Something worse. Surely the place Bill is talking about is here. This island. The Infinite Island? I've never heard anyone refer to this place as the Infinite Island before. Most people call it Cat Island, or the Verloren Island, formerly? Words are hard. Perhaps this crew were the first humans to step foot on this place. How long have the cats been here, anyway? This letter seems to be at least 100 years old, and the cats were pretty well established then, by the sound of things. The cats in this note must be the elders. I suddenly feel another pang of sympathy for Bill and the crew. I know how frightening the elders can be. I decide not to tell Floofy Butt about the contents of his gift. It would only add to his paranoia. I instead promise myself that I will look into this further another time. Okay, so now I have to rest. We'll do that. Had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Energy restored. Magic! Okay, and now I will do my last romance with Simon. It will, of course, be Floofy Butt. Floofy Butt has asked me to accompany him to the beach because he wants to share some thoughts with me. As usual, I have no idea what he may be devising. He asked me to sit comfortably on our blanket, and is now standing in front of me with a piece of paper wedged between his front paws, endlessly clearing his throat, as though he's about to make a speech or spit a hairball. It is often the case, at last, that on an auspicious occasion a speech may be required to honor the affair. Ah, speech, not hairball. Today, I felt it fitting that I deliver a brief address to mark the importance of the new moon anniversary of my first meeting the person who has changed irrevocably the course of my life. My dear, I'm a cat of rhetoric and proud of it. My verbosity is remarked upon throughout the island, and yet I have felt the need to scratch a few words onto this paper in case my wit and intellect should fail, under the duress of sentimentality, and I find myself unable to express adequately the dictates of my feline heart. Indulge me for a moment as I grapple with that most elusive of emotions, love, for that is the matter at hand. What is love? Loyalty, respect, allegiance, support, cooperation, and mutual trust. There is no better way to show love, whether it be for king and country or cream puff pastry, than with a proud and loud declaration of humble Floofy Butt peeks at his scrap of paper. That, he holds the paper up to his good eye. Blast my handwriting. Floofy Butt claws the paper to shreds. For goodness sake, Simon, what I mean to say is that I love you. And whether or not you love me is of no consequence. I am not expecting a response. I only wish you to know my feelings. I understand that yours for me may not be the same, but I request, without prejudice or expectation, that you end my limbo with a response. Well, yeah, I love him too. He's a kitty. I'm here to date cats. Oh, Major, of course my feelings are the same. You have my unequivocal respect, allegiance, and love. Goodness, we're even starting to sound alike. Oh my, I wasn't expecting that. I honestly don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just come here. The large tabby launches himself into my arms, and we share a long and slightly scratchy hug. But yeah, so now we're going to do our last research, and then I'll probably be a cat. So yes, I'm ready. Research 9. Poor Socks doesn't seem to be getting better. Time to put my veterinary training to the test. Oh, poor Socks. I'm worried about Socks. None of the treatments so far seem to be clearing up his wound. Cleaning the area with saline solution seemed to do the trick at first, but after a few days, the site got too sore to touch, even with a soft cotton pad. Not seeing any positive results, I decided to swallow my doubts and use cream 116. I'm worried that I should have stuck with my gut feeling and not used the cream because now it's even worse, and I've exhausted my options. How best to proceed? I decide to ask the professor for his advice. Sorry to disturb you, sir, but I need your advice on Socks. Send pic, please. Really? I snap a picture on my catalog and send it to the professor. Yes, that does look nasty. Have you tried cream 116? Stage 1 protocol was used first, cleaning it with saline solution, etc. But I've tried the cream since, still inflamed. Preserve with cream. Takes a while, but will pay off. I feel doubtful, but resign myself to the professor's seniority. If unsatisfied, Try steroid formula in fridge. Red bag. Rummage around the fridge until I find the red bag behind a box of vitamin supplements. Got it. Thank you for your help, sir. I pour the milk into a small bowl, and am relieved that Socks seems to like it. I sit with him as he laps it up, and keep an eye on him for a while. After about an hour, I'm satisfied that he's sleeping happily and all his vital stats are normal. I've come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning, I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now, it's been easy to cover up my transition. I just had to keep on top of removing the excess body hair. Even the stub of a tail that appeared a few days ago hasn't been a problem. Who'd see it? But this new development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical slits? I can't risk anyone seeing me like this, so I'm going to hide out for a while and see what happens. You become a kitty cat. Sometime later. I'm lazing in the midday sun when my nap is interrupted by the familiar sound of the ferry arriving at the pier. It seems my replacement has already arrived. I stretch and roll onto my back. I wonder what the professor's new assistant will be like. Oh, with his little sideburns, he's super cute. Hopefully they'll be a bit less naive than you were. Major wrinkles his nose, seemingly disgusted by the memory. Was I really that naive when I first arrived here? Afraid so. Really? I don't remember much about it. Oh yes, you were quite exuberant. It was really rather charming. He grins at me playfully. I scoff, then roll in the sand and smile at my sweet Major before closing my eyes for a midday nap. I don't regret what's happened to me. Not for a second. I'm happy here with my family, my tribe. It was a struggle at first, making the decision to let it all go. Give up on the antidote and the idea of rehumanization. Falling in love was a great contributor to my decision-making, as was the fact that no one else seemed very motivated. I suppose being a cat just kind of gets to you in the end. Now I wouldn't consider any other life. My only worries these days are deciding when to eat and which particular part of this paradise island to sleep in. So much choice. And of course, staying out of the hands of that research team. Not that that's a problem for us. We look out for one another, and we know where to hide. I slink my tail over to Floof and hook it around his tail. Happy days. Alright, so that's chapter 2. I had... How does one get 3 successful dates? Like, I don't understand. I went on 4 dates. I don't understand. I don't understand how to get 3 successful dates out of... No, 5 possible dates. Like, how could I be more successful? So we'll continue on with chapter 3. In which I will pick another research assistant. I'm gonna go with the blonde this time. Yep, let's go with the blonde named Keith. No. Poppy. Poppy's good. Gonna make a good cat name, too. It was a long boat journey. My legs are a bit wobbly as I make my way up the wooden jetty to meet the security guard who has come to collect me. ID. I rummage about in my bag until I find the laminated security pass I was issued with on the mainland. Yeah, so this was issued 2 days after Simon's ID tag was issued. So his was issued on the 3rd and hers is the 5th. And then the first girl, whose name I've already forgotten, hers was issued on the 1st. So like it's getting shorter between each issuance. Come on then, follow me. I have to walk at quite a pace to keep up with him. He's not the social type, so we trek along in silence until we're in camp and outside a large tent. He's waiting for you in there. I have one dude voice I don't do voices. Glad to have you on board, Poppy. Shall we go through a few formalities and then call it a day so you can get some rest before you start work properly tomorrow? Sounds good to me, sir. So first, shall we have a little refreshment? I have water, coffee, or something stronger, perhaps? Whiskey? Okay, so he doesn't like people who do tea. He was fond of the guy who took whiskey. We'll see what water does. I'm parched. Do you have any water? There are natural springs all over the island, but we have the bottled kind too. A bottle of water would be great. I'm not too keen to start drinking from natural water sources until I'm sure they're not being used as cat urinals. We spend the next hour going through my kit, all typical stuff. Excuse me. Apart from my super gadget. It's called a catalog, and it does all sorts of swanky things, even plays music. I meet some of the local cats and learn how to scan them with it, which was a lot of fun. Finally, I'm shown to my tent to settle in for the night. While I'm unpacking, I find something very interesting under my bed. It's the personal journal of the previous research assistant, the one before me. As I read, I begin to discover that there is a lot more going on here than I was told about. It's hard to believe this stuff is true. Maybe the last researcher was prone to flights of fancy. Still, it makes great bedtime story material, and I stay up reading until my eyelids begin to close. In spite of my best efforts to read to the end, I drift off into a deep sleep. I don't snore, how dare you. I wake with a start. I can hear the rustling of paper coming from the tent flap. It's a cat with something in its mouth. It has the journal. Wait! But it has run off into the night. I'm chasing the cat at full speed into the forest. I must get that book back. It has everything I need to know in it. I start to feel woozy and realize too late that I've strayed into the danger zone. I'm going to be sick. I close my eyes tight and drop to my knees. I open my eyes. A calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the journal from its mouth. Oh. I pass out. Okay, cool. So they just went with Simon. And the other one is just completely gone now. Leafy Butt. Hello! Can you hear me? Are you okay? Here we go again. Move back a bit. Let them breathe. Has it been bitten? The Sphinx cat is standing over me, staring as I open my eyes. Yes, definitely bitten. Look at its hand. Bring my hand up to my face, and through my blurry vision, I can make out several deep scratches and puncture marks. The cats watch me intently. Is this real? I saw something in the journal about kidnapping. Catnapping. We're sorry. It was the only way. My head has begun to clear, and I realize that if I can talk to these cats, not only is it all true, but it's already too late. I have the sickness. We need to have a talk, human. No, we don't. I know what's going on. I've got the sickness. That's why I can hear you. Well done. You really did read it. Most of it, yes. So I wasn't entirely wasting my time. Hang on. You? Are you? You figure it out. It's not my problem anymore. The mysterious cat slinks off towards the forest area. Oh, don't worry about them. They're preoccupied elsewhere. So, are you going to help us or not? Help the kitties. Well, of course I am. You need my help, and I need yours if I'm going to find an antidote. Spoken like a true champion. Well, let's hope it's third time lucky. I thought the last one got pretty lucky, actually. Unfortunately, the last one didn't get very far with discovering what happened to our friends. It didn't make an antidote either. I think, with their notes to build on, I'm going to crack this. Well, I promise to give it my best shot at least. Respect. Jolly good show. My catalog starts beeping. But right now I have to get to work. I'm just about to enter the lab when begin my legitimate work when the catalog beeps. A message without any contact information. Loose lips sink ships. Oh, and then... I remember reading something about messages in the journal, but I was so sleepy last night. I don't recall what it was. I decided to ignore the mystery messenger for now, or I'll be late for work. The professor is already working when I arrive, but I'm not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can as soon as possible. I had to pet one of my own cats. That was very important. Romance. Most important thing. Finally, I can romance Trixie! Yes, Trixie! Snooty Booty, I'll get you next time, I promise. I hear a strange tapping sound, and it grinds on my brain until finally, I have to go investigate. I've been tagging cats all morning, and the sun is high in the clear blue sky now, so it's time to take my break anyway. I decide to follow the sound. I make my way further along the beach to inspect the rocks and cliffs that run around the perimeter of the island. Tap, tap, tap. It's hard to tell if it's getting louder or if I'm just getting more consumed by it. Suddenly, the tapping stops, and I hear a new sound altogether. It's a strange gurgling, like the sounds of the babbling brook that runs through the deep forest, but I wouldn't be able to hear that all the way from the beach. I stand still and strain my ears, listening intently. There it is again. A short eruption of burbles. I look around suspiciously and notice a barely concealed opening in the contours of the rock face. I feel compelled toward it. As I get closer, the gurgling shapes into gleeful giggles. Hello? I wait at the mouth of the cave, feeling like I've been lured here, but at the same time, like an intruder. Am I disturbing you? Woman! Oh, Trixie. It's you! What are you doing here? I could hear you from all the way up the beach. You're a long way off base. Could ask you the same thing, Human, but I won't because I know why you're here. You were drawn to me. I knew you would come sooner or later. I made it nice for your visit. Oh, Well, come in, Humi. And she's disappeared into the darkness of the cave. I squeeze myself in after her, and as my eyes adjust to the gloom, I am, at the same time, taken aback by the light. We're in a small cavern which should be pitch black, except it's not. There's a light source that my brain can't quite understand immediately. The rocks, or at least some of them, are radiating with a warm, golden pink glow which gives the tiny cave a peculiar ambiance, almost like a trashy nightclub. Take a piece of space and make yourself at home, Humi. I sit where I've been standing, as there's not much room here. I start to take in my surroundings. Wow, Trixie, this is fantastic. All around us are different types of rocks, stones, and crystals, all different colors, sizes, and shapes. There are piles of the stuff in every nook and cranny, like a little Aladdin's cave. What exactly is this place, Trix? It's my pad. It's where I do my thing. We all need our thing, don't we? Yes, I suppose, but what exactly is your thing? Minerals. I collect them. It's more than just collecting them, though. I embrace them. You hug them? Trixie giggles. Yes, I do. But that's not what I meant. I connect with them and allow their properties to become a part of me. We combine our energies. I'm not sure I quite understand. Look, it's easier if I show you. The small cat begins nudging and pawing at some of the stones until she has lined them up in front of me. Here's my island family. Meet the Grand Dame. She indicates a long, slender pink stone, quite smooth and elegant. Feel her. I run my fingers over the shiny, cold surface. Remind you of anyone? A smile breaks over my face, and Trixie begins to giggle. Yep, you got it. Only don't ever tell Snooty that I'm calling her Grandma. Here, how about this guy? I'm presented with a large, squat chunk of rock, semi-covered with a kind of moss that gives it the appearance of having fur. As I turn it, the light picks up the color, and I can see a warm, rich amber tone, almost like marmalade. It makes me laugh out loud. That really is uncanny, the major in rock form. Mineral, actually, but yes, Gramps has all the qualities to lead my little family. I've already moved on to the next stone, and the resemblance is striking. It's a dirty green stone that fits comfortably into the palm of my hand. It hasn't been polished like Snooty Booty, so it's a bit murky looking, but there are small patches that have been rubbed clean from handling. They're breathtaking emerald, catching the lights of the green sparkles, refracting and dancing around the cave. It's beautiful. Yeah, naughty Uncle McMurphy can be like that, don't you find? Oh, he certainly can. His charm is very beguiling, so who's missing? No one. What about Kibbles? Take a closer look, homie. I strain my eyes in the gloomy light and see a flat, jagged piece of stone next to Floofy Butt, and then I get it. It's a pebble. He is a pebble. We both laugh. It really does seem to capture Kibbles, but it's hard to say why. It's the energy. Everything has energy, and we're all connected by it. Allow me to demonstrate. Take my paw and close your eyes. I do as instructed and hold the tiny paw in my hand, being as gentle as possible because my fingers suddenly seem fat and clumsy by comparison. What do you feel? She's warm and fragile, and I almost feel like giggling. A bit tipsy, really. Okay, now keep your eyes closed and hold my other paw in your other hand. When I have both of her paws, the feeling is intensified. I begin giggling out loud despite myself, and I'm overcome with a delicious feeling of joy. Open your eyes. I look down and see that I am only holding one of Trixie's paws, and the other hand is a small, clear crystal, completely smooth. Oh wow, but how? It felt just like your paw, warm and furry. I know. Trixie is laughing. You were feeling the energy. This is me. Trixie indicates the crystal. Oh my goodness, Trix, this is so cool. Thanks for letting me meet you all. I notice her face change. She looks as though she's been hurt. Oh, Trixie, what is it? Are you okay? This isn't all of us. What? There's someone else in my island family, but we don't talk about her anymore. Oh? She was the coolest sister ever, but she's not with us anymore. Oh, Trix, did she pass away? No such luck. She's being kept alive. Trixie nudges a small, black piece of stone towards me. I pick it up and look at it closely. There's thousands of specks of glitter running through it, giving it an iridescence. It looks like the night sky. I close my eyes instinctively and am immediately overwhelmed by the most intense sadness and despair. It feels as though all the pain in the world is captured in this little black gem. Gosh, Trixie, what on earth happened to her? I can't say. Not yet, anyway. She's taken the stone and hidden it before I even realize it's gone, and suddenly her mood has changed completely again. We need to get you one too, Humi. You should be mineralized, don't you think? I would be honored, Miss Trixie. You're really quite open for a scientist. It's actually a requirement that, in order to be a good scientist, you remain open-minded. Let me read your tarot. I'm a bit thrown. That came out of nowhere. I don't know about that. Not as open-minded as you'd like to think, then. That's not fair. I just wasn't expecting it. Come on, then. Yes or no? Okay. Okay, why not? I played tarot once in uni. It was great fun. Oh, Humi. Tarot isn't a game. Of course not. Go on, then. Tell me who I'm going to marry. Trixie lets out a small snicker. I don't know why, but I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. The calico cat produces a pack of cards with an intricate pattern on the back. Wow, that's a cool deck. Where did you get it? McMurphy got it for me. He won't tell me where from. He finds the coolest things. Trixie places the pack of cards on the floor, begins waving her paws over it, and lets out a strange yowling sound. Finally, she stops and fans the cards out in front of me. Okay, your turn. Close your eyes and slowly run your hands over the cards until you feel drawn to one. Touch it lightly. Repeat until you've chosen 3 cards. I self-consciously do as I'm told, relieved that I'm not expected to make yowling noises, too. I touch 3 cards, and when I open my eyes, Trixie is holding them in her paw, looking thoughtful. Very interesting. Your past is the Fool. The Lovers is in your present position. How scandalous. And you have Justice in your future. But will you be handing it out or receiving it? Very interesting. Is that good interesting or bad interesting? There's no such thing as good and bad, really. It's all just information to help you, if you choose to listen to it. Okay, I'm all ears. Are you going to tell me that I'm a bit of a fool who falls in love and gets my just desserts? I notice that Trixie has become quiet and thoughtful as she studies the 3 cards. It feels like an age before she speaks. The position of this card represents your past, everything that has led you to your current situation. The Fool is all about innocence and spontaneity. It's the first card in the Major Arcana and signifies beginnings. The Fool pretends important decisions ahead, which may not be easy to make and involve an element of risk for you. It is a powerful card, not to be underestimated. The next position is your current situation. The Lovers can be a misleading card because it suggests being all about romance, but actually, it's far more about making difficult choices. It warns that you need to just consider things very carefully, because although a positive outcome is more indicated when this card is present, it also reminds us that pain is seldom avoidable. Finally, we have your outcome card, Justice. This augurs well for you, human. It is the most karmic of the tarot cards. If you behave with integrity, loyalty, and courage, you will achieve fantastic results and gain the highest possible successes. Beware, though, that the sword cuts on both sides of the blade. If you sow the seeds of discord, you will reap disharmony in your life. There is a longish pause, and I realize she's finished my reading. Thank you, that was fantastic. You're really good. What did it mean? Oh, really, Humi? What did I say about listening? I heard every word. I just don't know what it means. Then go away and think about it. I will. I'll try. Just remember that it's all about interpretation. And listening? Interpreting the cards is listening. You need to listen to your inner voice, and the cards will help you hear it. I have much to learn. And I am happy to teach you, Humi. She's beaming and glowing in the strange half-light of her magical cave. The effect is quite hypnotic. Well, I shall look forward to that, but right now, I have a date with a microscope. Soon, Humi. Soon. I make my way out into the bright sunshine and take a deep breath. I'm not sure what all that was about, but I think I rather liked it. Okay, so that did a save, and my voice is kind of going, so I'm going to go ahead and call that for tonight, but I will continue when my voice is better, hopefully tomorrow. There's a lot of reading in this game, so I'm going to take a break. Bye, thanks for watching.
At each other like they're hearing impaired. Yo, we gotta leave the crib when they make it whoop, because the makeup sex sounds like raging Wookiee. Catch him shaving his chest in states of undress when the mailman delivers to mistaken address. They catch him shaking up packages and taking our checks. If we're not careful, then they'll be taking us next. Sneaky neighbors. They are sneaky neighbors.